Hey everybody, it's Andre from the Eaglesoft Field Guide, and I'm back with my buddy Passion. How are you there?
Hi, I'm good. How are you?
I'm fine, and you are in Wisconsin, right?
Madison, Wisconsin. Yes.
Madison, Wisconsin. That's like the home of the cheese, right?
Yeah.
Cheeseheads.
Go
Gotcha.
Badgers.
Go Badger. All right, cool. And I'm over here in Philadelphia, and we're going to talk about something that's near and dear to my heart, which is the Eaglesoft Money Finder tool. And it is honestly my favorite because it's the way that I manage practices all over the country. It's the way that I get statistical data for all my offices. It's how I sort of data mine. And it's a little crass to call it Money Finder, but that's what I'm doing. I'm looking for money within the business. All right. And it's a fantastic tool. So we wanted to talk about it because now we're filming this in September.
Yep.
And this is kind of the end of the year for most offices. And I know you were struggling with trying to use Money Finder. So give me an idea of what you were trying to use it with.
Correct. So like you mentioned before, in the dental world, we are at the end of the year, and where we're sending out letters, emails, text messages with patients who were seen earlier in the year, who haven't come back for treatment, or they wanted to hold off until towards the end of the year to use up their insurance benefits. So I went into Money Finder the other day, and I put in the procedure codes that I was looking for, and I wanted to filter out the patients who don't have insurance. So I only want patients who have insurance.
Got it.
But I was struggling with how to figure that out, how to filter it all out.
Cool. And here's the thing I'll tell everybody, Money Finder is one of those great tools that, you've got to really, it's like looking at the census. I'm big into genealogy, and looking at the census from the 1860s is really difficult because the people were doing it manually. And we're going off on a tangent, but I want you guys to understand this. When they did the census in 1860, one of the things they did is they went door to door, but they might do it over the course of a week. So they might go to 123 Main Street, and then they take a break, and then they go to 345 Main Street, and maybe Bob, who was at one address on Tuesday, was at the other address on Wednesday, and Bob got counted twice in those census. So it's not exact. So you have to be really careful with how you gather that data before you look at the data and say, there's two Bob Smiths in that town. No, there's one Bob Smith who was in two different places at two different times. So the way we're going to do this is we're going to go to activities, practice management, and Money Finder. All right. And Money Finder can be a fantastic tool when you filter it properly. So what you were looking for is patients who have an insurance status with insurance.
Correct.
So they have insurance. Now, we could also put up here and go to primary remaining benefits. So we can say, only show me people who have a remaining benefit of, say, $250. And I'm just going to make this up, not 25 cents, $250 to $9,999. All right. So we're going to look at people who have more than $250 left. And they have, what do you want to do? Somebody who had a service or somebody who we plan to service? What do you think?
Planned a service.
Okay. So
now,
go ahead.
I'm sorry. That's kind of where I got confused. So when it says they had a service, are we talking about they came in and had like their pro fees done?
Yep.
And then planned a service will be unscheduled treatment.
Well, planned would be anything that was proposed.
Correct.
Yep.
Okay. Yeah.
So, and I'll tell you how I typically would use this. And this is a scenario I use all the time. So show me everybody who had a completed root canal, D3330, molar root canal. And I could do a date range, but it's not going to work. And they lack a completed crown, D2740. So that's the way I data mine, because I want to be very, very specific. I don't want to just cast this large net. So I'm going to say, show me everybody within the last year that we did a root canal on, but they never had a crown done. Because I know that more than likely, if they had a molar root canal, there's something else that needed to be done on that tooth. So I could say, show me anybody who had a molar root canal but never had a crown. Now, if you don't do root canals in your office, you could say, show me anybody who had a planned root canal, because more than likely, hopefully, you planned that root canal through a referral. We proposed it, but we referred it. Root canal, but they never had the crown.
So when you, So when you enter in the root canal, so let's say that we do refer our root canals out to the endodontist.
Yep.
So when you plan the root canal out and you put it under referred, and then when you go to Money Finder and you put it in as planned, does that still bring up the referred portion of it? Or
it sure does. Yeah,
okay.
Because the service that when we put it in the chart, the service is proposed, but the response to the proposal is that it's referred out.
Okay.
So it's a two-parter. So it is a planned service in your office. It's just that you're not doing it.
Okay.
All right. And actually, let's talk about that. So I'm actually going to show you something that I do, and I'm going to hit my F2 button, which will bring up my code list. So I actually have a specific code here, and it's an R3330, all right, that I have root canal therapy referred out. So I actually use a very specific code for my referred root canals.
Oh.
All right.
Okay.
That way I can better track. Now, I only do that if the office does not do molar endo. So if the office does molar endo, then that's a little trickier. So you've got to do, I'm sorry, let me change that around. If the office does molar endo, then I use this code. If the office doesn't do molar endo, then you can use the regular code. You don't have to worry about a separate code, because if you never use it, might as well use that one. But so I have a very specific code that is a referred root canal. And there is no fee attached, because we don't want a fee on there in our treatment plan, because the endodontist is going to get mad at us when we show a $900 fee and they're charging $1,500. So no fee. It will not go to insurance. All right. And I can allow for free form description. So just so.
What is a free form description? What is that?
Awesome. I'm glad you asked. Let me show you. So let's just do a treatment plan real fast for this patient. And let's do a new plan. So I don't want to use that. So let's say we're going to do this. He needs a root canal, post-acor, and crown. So let's do a R3330. There's my referred root canal. There's no fee attached. We're going to do a D2950 for my build-up, and we're going to do a D2740 for that crown. Now, notice it says referred up there. And remember, I used that. Let me open this up a little bit. I used that free-form description. Watch this. Referred to ABC endo.
Oh, okay.
I can't do that down here, and I can't do that down here, but I can certainly do it here because I added that line, that checkbox to allow for free-form description.
Oh, okay.
Like that?
So can you go back? So let's say, because we have some codes in our office that I would like to add more description to it, but it's patient specific. Can you go back to like your code list and check that box?
Sure. You can take any code and add that box.
Oh, okay.
So I do that. I have lots of R codes. Let me just sort this by service type and let me show you. I've got lots of R codes. So there's my evaluation for re-entering patient. There's my referred. There's my extraction referred. So I've got a few of those where I might send a patient out. You could even do like a biopsy code. Like if you don't do it, but you're referring patients to do a biopsy, might as well just change your code to allow for free form description so that you can do that.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. So I do a lot of that where I have free form descriptions. I have a few that are, let me go back to my ADA code list. I've got even, where's my, I don't even remember what my service codes are, but I actually have right here. So I can put my phases of treatment in and my timing. So if I have a doctor who does very, very complicated work and they say, okay, on this visit, I want to, and I'll use this, all right, on this visit, I need about an hour and a half. So I can actually add that to my treatment plan. And here I'll say, there you go. So I can actually include my timing in my treatment plan. So I can say, this is visit 1, the patient goes to the referral. This is visit 2, where there's the crown, the build up. I know this isn't correct. This is visit 3, we're gonna do that. And then on visit 3, I need an hour and a half. So on visit 4, we're gonna do, let's just make up something, B2993. Oops. On that one is visit 4, and I'm going to add another A0001. On that visit, the person is a gagger, so I need 45 minutes. So I can, whoops, I have dyslexia. So you can actually put in your phase timing. So I have these things set up so that you can allow for free-form description.
Okay.
And like you said, it is patient specific. This is only going to show up for that patient on that line item.
Okay.
So that referral to Dr. ABC Endo is only going to be for Charles on that particular visit. Doesn't mean he necessarily goes to that endodontist, but that's who you made the referral to.
Mm-hmm.
Cool. But now I can very specifically look under Money Finder. No, clear that treatment plan. I can very specifically look for only those people who we did at R3330. So again, if the office does it or doesn't do it. So I can very specifically look for a procedure. So I said, show me anybody who has a planned or completed root canal, but then they lack a crown. Give me a list, and I don't have enough people in my database to give you a report, but I can say, okay, and then print a report from that. Let's try another one. So the patient has a completed D5120. All right, so they have a lower denture that was made 0101 2005 to 1231 2015. All right, so they had a denture made a while ago, say 5 years ago back, and they're between 50 years old and 70 years old. So they're young in my world. All right, they're young. All right, and they have insurance. All right, and we're going to delete that. So they have a lower denture. All right, but they're currently not on my schedule. All right, so they're not on my schedule. They had a denture made that long ago, and they're that old. And actually, I don't care about how much insurance they have because they haven't been at the dentist. All right. So imagine I wanted a list of these people who we're now doing implants in the office, and we want to talk to them about fixed solutions. So I could run a list of those people as a completed lower denture 5 years ago, and they're fairly young people. And I don't really care about the insurance status because insurance isn't going to cover their all on four anyway. But so that's how I can use Money Finder that way. And I'll show you we're almost there. I'll show you my Easter surprise. So I want to say everybody who has a schedule or doesn't have a schedule, I don't care. But show me everybody with insurance who's between 7 years old and 14 years old. And they've never had, so they lack a completed D1351. Whoops. Come on now. My keyboard's not working now. D1351. So they're between 7 and 14. They have insurance and they've never had sealants. So give me a list of those people because I can specifically call those people and say, hey, before Halloween, let's get those kids in for sealants. I would have done this before school started, but hey, before the kids go back to school, let's get them in for sealants. Before the summer starts, let's get them in for sealants. And the beauty of this is we can now export this report, right? Not to just paper. I'm not a big paper person, but I can send these patients to InContact. Do you know what InContact is?
Yes, but I'm not very familiar with it.
Okay. So and I don't know if anybody's going to qualify for this. Let's just say Money Finder prospects. So I just sent these people to an electronic list. And let's see if they show up. Yep, well, there's only one person, but there's my list. So what I did is I just click on the phone. That's InContact. And now there's my list of people.
Now, when a patient goes into InContact, one of the things that I struggle with InContact is that either myself or my front desk gal were putting things into InContact, and when you hit the InContact button to import it to InContact, that little bar pops up, and then for you to put a description in. Otherwise, it just puts in today's date,
right?
Which is fine, but you have to remember to go back to delete it once you print it.
Yep.
So if you don't delete it and you don't know that the other person hasn't deleted yet, how do you filter it out in InContact so that it doesn't print out everything that was in there before, plus what you're doing.
Well,
as well.
I should have, and what I typically would do is I'd give it a name like fluoride contacts or something like that,
Mhm.
fluoride prospects, and then I could filter it by saying only show me those. Like that, and then I could filter it that way.
So it has to be, when you're filtering it, it has to be very specific to the description.
Yeah. And that's why like this came out as Money Finder Prospect September 9th, 2021. Yeah. So you really want to give it a name that makes it easier. Like, I mean, it would have been even easier if it was just one word, fluoride.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, that would have been easier to just filter it down to the people you want.
Okay.
Yep.
So then once you filter that down, then you can just hit the print button and then it'll print.
Exactly. And again, I'm never printing this because this is going to be my list. I'm actually going to get on the phone and start calling these people. There's the phone numbers. And then I can say, okay, I scheduled that patient. Well, actually, if I scheduled them, I delete them off the list. But if I left a message for them, all right, and I can go right here to my notes. I wrote, left a message with Timmy. He said, Mom will call back when she gets home. And I click that box and it will create a note right in their account notes.
So when it creates a note in their account, so the description will be an account note, not a different type of note. Okay.
Yeah, it'll look just like a regular normal account note, but it'll be something that you generated from using this Money Finder.
Okay. Is there a way to default it to like a general note or
Good question. Here, let's see what it does. I don't know what shows up. Let's go here. Let's go pull up. No, it's not gonna pull up the right person. Let's do that's Walton. There we go. And it comes up as a practice management note.
Oh, okay.
Yep.
Okay.
And it actually says that note was entered into in contact.
Oh. Okay.
Cool.
Mm-hmm.
I didn't know, so I'm glad I looked. But it does show up just as a practice management note. And let's just see what if it shows a note type. And I have these filtered out, so my practice management notes don't show. But yeah, so I think it is just an account note because it doesn't I have it filtered from this view. So yeah, it's just a practice management note.
I'm glad we figured that one out together.
Yeah. See? And yes, I want to delete the note. Cool. But yeah, the combination of Money Finder and In Contact, because just like you said, you can print a list, you can print labels, you can do just about anything from Money Finder. I get a million different choices of what I want to do. I could print postcards, I could send emails. This is a fantastic tool to be able to generate something and then now send it on to another format, like you said, a letter, a list, whatever. Those people who use something like a Revenue Well, Revenue Well actually has Money Finder sort of built in, where you could say, if this, then that, if this, then that, that'll generate a campaign for those people. So those things are built right into Revenue Well.
Oh, I didn't know that. We have Revenue Well at the office, and I didn't know that.
Oh yeah. So one of the cool things about with Revenue Well and Money Finder is you don't need Money Finder in order to create a campaign. You could just create the campaign and say, anybody who had a perio maintenance who hasn't been here since here, send them a message. So you can be very specific. Those who don't have something like Revenue Well, Money Finder is going to be your answer in order to generate that report. But yeah, Money Finder is pretty much built into Revenue Well.
Okay.
Yep. I'll clear my In Contact list. And, but yeah, practice management, Money Finder, fantastic tool to be able to go through. And end of the year, I think there's even some preset end of year information already here. There's a maximize insurance, and this just shows you anybody who has remaining benefits. So there's some sort of preset Money Finder tools already built in. I don't like using the presets because you can see this just said anybody who has remaining benefits of $200 or more with insurance. I want to be more specific, and I want to go into, like you were saying, service codes or whatever. I want to be very specific about who I'm sending this reports to, because just because they have remaining benefits, well, maybe they have $200 left, but they've got a huge case where we already scheduled them in January of next year. So I want to say somebody who, is unscheduled. So just from that preset, it was calling people who had already scheduled appointments.
Mm-hmm.
So, the presets are okay, but I'd want to go a little further with pinning down some information. Because I definitely don't want somebody with $200 of benefits left coming in to have a crown prep done now when,
Oops.
yeah, $200 is not going to do it. So, but that's how, Money Finder is one of those kind of tools where even from a consultative standpoint, some of the things that I do or used to do is I would look at how many people had a completed D0150. So a comprehensive new patient exam, and then I could say 0101 2021 to 1231 2021. So show me all the new patients I saw in January. So that's how I get my new patient numbers.
Oh, okay.
Yep. And again, I use as I complete it, I have hold on, F2. I have codes for there's my new patients coming in through emergencies.
Mm-hmm.
So I can, I've got a lot of codes. So I have my new patient comp exams and my new patient emergencies. So if somebody came into my office as a new patient, but on an emergency, I have a very specific code as opposed to an established patient coming in for an emergency there. So there's my new patient emergency. So I could do both of these and say, show me all the new patients in January who came in. And I could have done them separately and say, show me how many new patients came in through the normal channels and how many new patients came in through emergencies. So Money Finder is a tool where you can do all kinds of great things like that. Mm-hmm. If I said, show me all the exams I did. So there's my comp exams and has it completed T0120. Oops. T0120. So show me all the comp and periodics I did in a period of time. Now I can run that report and then go back and say, show me all the adult prophies I did. So you can say, okay, we saw 50 patients this month or 100 patients this month and 95% of them were adults. Okay, show me who we did were kids. Oh, there you go. So you can do all those kind of reports from Money Finder and be very, very specific about it. I always ask people in offices to do a number like this. Show me all those comp exams you did in January, mm-hmm. and then do these 2 check boxes here. We did a comp exam, but right now they don't have an appointment. So they were brand new in our office, and as of now, they don't have an appointment with us.
Okay.
Yeah. So, and in my office, you can't leave without having an appointment. If you don't have an appointment, you're inactive.
Right.
So this is my method of saying, okay, what's my attrition rate? You were seen in my office, but you don't have an appointment. Mm-hmm. I run this on a regular basis to see where the patients are falling off, because you might get 20 new patients a month, but if you're losing 15, what's the big deal? You got to do something better. So this is a great tool to be able to, also look at some statistical data in order to be able to say, not just 30 new patients a month, but how many came in as emergencies as opposed to how many came in through the normal channels. How many were kids? How many were adults? Because we don't have a child versus adult comp exam. So,
okay.
Yeah. Make sense?
It does. Yeah, it makes a lot more sense now.
Yeah. So, and, Money Finder is, again, one of those tools that if you don't use this and or differently, so if I can say, if I did this and I said, or D0120, if you're not clear about this, you can get in trouble because you're going to have some weird results showing up that way. So just be aware that you're using the and or very well. So kind of think through it's a math problem. Think through your math. It's mm-hmm. this and or that. So you have to be really clear what you're looking for.
Okay.
Cool.
Yeah, makes a lot more sense now.
Yep. I'll show you one other trick with Money Finder. So your patients who are in treatment with ABC Endo, mm-hmm. or ABC Ortho, whatever your referring service is. What I do is I write in here ABC Ortho. All right. So in my recall notes field, I always put in if the patient is in active treatment with a referring doctor or referring office. All right.
Okay.
And now,
What did you refer to that box as again?
it's called the recall notes field. I mean, which is weird because if you're on versions before version 19, it actually says it in this gray area. It says recall notes. They got rid of that. So, but that's called a recall notes field.
Mm-hmm.
So I post information in there about who they're in active care with. I know that there is a referring, I don't even use it. So
A referral tab.
yeah, there's a referral tab. I never use this because I use this to my advantage, because now I can go activities, practice management, money finder. Okay, show me all the patients who aren't scheduled who are with ABC Ortho. And that will pull up a list. So I know he's.
And that's all that you do.
That's all.
Is just money finder, put it in the note, and then just hit the OK button, and then generates the. Oh, wow. Okay.
There he is.
Okay.
So now I can better track my referrals, because now through Money Finder, I can say, show me all those people who, I proposed a service, I proposed an implant, and I referred them to ABC surgery, ABC periodontist, whatever it is, you can track them that way, because I can put in that field there what's going on.
Okay.
Yeah. So that's what I said. Money Finder is my favorite tool when used properly. I've used it even in my offices who have to report back to the state with for Medicaid if patients fall into a social economic situation. So there are classifications. There is like an L1 for Latino, and then income category 1. So I put that in the recall notes field. So I can generate reports that way. So Money Finder, when used properly, you can really, really, really find information that you really need. And it's such a great tool.
Okay.
Yeah. So sky's the limit on what you can do with Money Finder. You like that one?
Yeah, I do like that one. I have like so many ideas going on in my head right now about what we can track now.
Yeah. And like I said, Money Finder in combination with Revenue Well is like a slam dunk, because especially, if you get slow, or if you're really trying to, do something very specific, you have a doctor who comes back from a course and they're like, oh, wow, we're going to start doing this procedure. You can really go and say, okay, show me everybody what a 5-surface composite, 10 years ago. Well, all right, we're going to start doing something else. So you can really get specific about what you're looking for and say, we planned this service, but the patient never got it done. We did the service, but we want to do a follow-up on that procedure. Show me all the periosurgery patients who we haven't seen. Show me all the SRP patients who fell off somehow or another. So you can really be very specific with it.
Okay.
I see your the gears turning in your head.
You can see like the wheels are spinning in my head.
Yeah. And that's what I said when people are always asking me in the Eaglesoft Field Guide about printing reports. And I typically say, I don't print reports. It's because I use Money Finder. I think reports are a reflection of history and not a view of the future. Money Finder can, I can view the future with Money Finder. With reports, I'm just looking backwards.
Yeah.
So cool. Well, I'm glad you like that. That's a big plus. Money Finder is a fantastic tool, and anybody who has questions, you can either pick up the phone and call Passion.
Yeah.
I'm gonna get you one day. Your phone's gonna be ringing off the hook. You're gonna
my number's listed on the bottom, so make sure you hit the subscribe button.
Or just call me, send me a message through any of the social media things, and we'll answer your questions through Money Finder. And I'm glad you had some time to do this video with me today.
Well, thanks for your time.
Always.